by DIKSHA E-Learning. Today, we have the great opportunity of attending the session of great doctors, Dr. Chandramaulishwaran Sir and Dr. Shivakumar Sir.
Before starting the session, I would like to go through few of the basic instructions to be followed throughout the session. For uninterrupted class session, please use laptop with high-speed internet connection. Please make sure your microphone is on mute to have disturbance-free session. In case of any disruption, please check your internet connection firstly, and if the problem is within our network connection, kindly raise the issue in the chat box. Filling your full name is much appreciated. Any questions can be posted in the chat box. Questions raised will be cleared in the end of session. Now, to render the welcome address, I would like to welcome Dr. Kirtiga, our alumni from Ayurveda College, Coimbatore. Over to you, Doctor.
Ramya, we are not hearing anything, ma.
Yes, sir. Good evening, one and all. On behalf of Ayurveda College, Coimbatore and DIKSHA E-Learning, it's my privilege to have been asked for welcoming our guest speaker. As you all know, we have our elegant speaker, Dr. Chandramaulishwaran, Principal and HOD of Department of Panchakarma, Ayurveda College, Coimbatore, on the topic Snehapana and Autophagy. I extend a warm word of welcome to you, sir, for being with us today. We are all delighted to listen to your words. Sir, let me proudly welcome dignitaries, practitioners, and students all around the world who have joined with us today. Hope you all get immense knowledge and inspired well enough to spread Ayurveda globally in this pandemic situation. Welcome you, sir. Welcome you all once again.
Thank you, Doctor. Today, first session, we will be discussing about Snehapana and Autophagy by Dr. Chandramaulishwaran. It's my great pleasure to introduce our guest speaker, Dr. Chandramaulishwaran. Dr. Chandramaulishwaran P. has completed BE/MS degree from Sri Jayendra Saraswati Ayurveda College, Chennai. After successfully completing his UG course, he pursued Ayurveda Vachaspati MD in the Department of Panchakarma from DGM Ayurvedic Medical College, Gadag, Karnataka in the year 2006. In 2013, he completed PhD in the Department of Kaya Chikitsa from National Institute of Ayurveda, Jaipur, Rajasthan, under the guidance of Dr. Govardhan K. Dr. Chandramaulishwaran P. is currently working as Principal of Ayurveda College, Coimbatore. Dr. Chandramaulishwaran has visited more than 6 countries to conduct seminars and classes for foreign students. He has published various articles in national and international journals. He has attended various seminars and has also presented various research articles. He was also invited as a resource person in state, national, and international level seminars to deliver speeches on different topics of Ayurveda. Now, I'd like to hand over the session to Sir. Over to you, Sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. So somebody introduced me as a great doctor. I really don't know whether I am great. I'm trying to be a, good human being as well as I'm trying to be a good doctor. Okay. So basically, I had a lots of, previously before presenting this topic, because since we are the host, right? So I really, I was thinking that whether to present a topic or give a talk on, some topic, since we are the host ourselves. Then later, some of my friends, even my students, some of my friends from other colleges and some of the students requested me about this, because I almost finished my book on Snehana, which covers both the Bahya and Abhyantara Snehapana, Abhyantara Snehapana and Bahya Sneha. So in that I try to, justify or just in that I try to explain the things we usually don't find in our classical texts. That one part is this autophagy mechanism. So basically, whenever I used to read, when I was reading, when I was studying my PG Panchakarma also, like I used to think so many, things we study. That's why, I kept this, when we are discussing about this seminar also, this was my idea to, just to propose this Ayurveda Decoded, because, many times we study so many things, but we don't understand, or we don't have proper explanation why, what could be the real reason, what is really happening inside. So many things, gray areas in our text are there, where we need to explore, we need to explain to the people. Simple example is Rasayana. Okay, so you have Kuti Praveshikam, you have Vatatapikam, they have written so many things in that. How to validate these claims, okay, which is very, very important, because when I traveled abroad, when I used to teach people, these are the common questions being asked. Okay, you are giving the fat, whether fat will make you more fat. This what is being taught to us. The entire world is being taught that when you take more fat, it will make you to gain weight. But in the reality, fat will never make you fat. Rather, carbohydrates makes you obese. So that's the reason why when you give Snehapana, you don't see person gaining weight. Rather, he or she losing weight. So fat will never make you fat. That's a universal truth. But whereas, they misguided us, and, people used to think that when you take, the too much of fat, then once again, people are saying about saturated, unsaturated, trans fat, so many things, where once again, whether the ghee is really good, whether the animal fat are really good. There are people like vegans, they don't take anything with milk. The world is, with these kind of people, so many people are there. So it is our duty to, justify, or our duty to take this science and explain to them. Of course, we Ayurvedic people, we can explain everything in the basis of Tridosha Siddhanta, Rasaguna Virya Vipaka, so like we have our own way of explaining things. But when you want to globalize, or when you want to take this Ayurveda to the global level, it should be like put in such a way that people can really appreciate, or people can really understand, or we can invoke the fire in people, so that they can do lots of research on the topic. So basically, this is what I tried to cover in my book. If you see this book, this maximum by next week, I'll be publishing it. I have covered mostly only about Bahya Sneha and Abhyantara Sneha, almost 600 pages. When you see the texts about Snehapana, maximum 4 or 5 pages you get, or maximum 8 pages. Whereas I only have about Abhyantara Snehapana, I covered almost 250, 270 pages. Here I am not here to boost my book, or that is not my intention. Okay, please understand that. Just I am trying to share. There could be lots of practitioners, there could be lots of students. So there are so many areas where we can put lots of effort, and we can make more understandable to the students and the normal simple community. When you see the Snehapana, some mixed the Lakshanas are there, but why that some mixed the Lakshanas are happening? Why it is said that Grana Vakra, Gudasravam, when you give a simple fat, how can it is possible that how the person can have Grana Sravam or Gudasravam? Okay, why there is a Klamam in Adisnekta Lakshanam, why there is a Pandu? Okay, so these symptoms are mentioned, but what is really happening in the cellular level? what is really happening, in a biochemistry level, what is the real biochemistry of this given fat, uh, what is the importance of majja and majja and vasa, then what is the different fats are available, like basically if you see the vasa, you see, like you have varaha vasa, it is, if you go through, you understand there is tallow is there, there is shoot is there, it is because in foreign cuisines it's been used, the vasa is literally used for cooking. So, like, what is that, what are the contents of that vasa or majja, why vasa majja is good for hasti, why they are best in relieving the pain. I try to analyze those things in my book, and I try to give my validation about whatever explained in the textbooks. So in that only, I came across about this this autophagy. You would have, many of you would have been knowing it, or many might not be knowing about this concept, about this ketosis, or about this autophagy or lipophagy. So this and all, normally, it is happening inside the body in day-to-day life, whereas when you try to give snehapana, this particular mechanism is triggered, and this autophagy and lipophagy, how best they are in snehasaro ayam purushah, they told. Definite, when you go through this, maybe later when you will be seeing, when you see what is really happening when you give snehapana in the cellular level, it is really amazing, or it is really, I really don't know how our acharyas could able to identify, or maybe they would have put the things in different perspective, they would have put the things in different manner, whereas when you analyze with the new age techniques, it's really amazing. So with that simple introduction, I would like to go inside the topic. Okay. And I always I believe in Tadvidya Sambhasha, because I believe you can learn even from a small kid. Okay. So I tried my level best. So I'm not here with my ego. I'm trying to give some of the ideas, whatever I felt it is relevant, and I'm trying to propose certain things. Some people may not agree with this, because that's what is all about. We are living in a country which is a democratic country, so we cannot always think only people should talk positive about you. The criticism, the constructive criticism also is necessary for the growth. I believe in that. If people don't criticize you, then you will not grow, or you will not try to find answer, because criticism makes you stronger. Okay, so I always welcome your suggestion. You may be students, no problem. I will not feel bad. You can ask me questions. So let us have an open discussion. Okay, let us go inside the topic. So what do you mean by this autophagy? So auto means self. Okay, phagy means destruction. Okay, so basically in certain conditions, okay, the cell must destruct its organelles. We'll see when it is done, why it should be done. Because the cell, if it feels that some of its organelles, the cytoplasm, there are so many, like mitochondria inside the cell, you have lots of organelles, right? So if the particular cell feels that this fellow is a rogue, that particular organella is creating a trouble, then it will create a shield, or it will engulf that particular fellow inside. Just you would have seen in the animal kingdom, sometimes the snakes, if they give birth to a the small infants, they eat that, right? So that is, of course, that's how the creation is. We really don't know how it is, but I'm just trying to give you this example. So this, when the cell feels that one of its organelle inside is creating trouble to him, so that will engulf. Okay, and that particular cell will get rid of that problematic organelle by fusing with lysosome. Lysosome is very important. So in this entire phenomena to happen, lysosome is very, very important, and this entire autophagy happens inside the lysosome, inside the cell of lysosome. So when the cell feels that this particular organelle is creating trouble, then that fellow will that cell will fuse with the lysosome, and that will engulf or get rid of that problematic organelle. Okay, so that's why it is called as autophagy. Autophagus. Cell eats its own content. Okay, so when you see this, it is one of the main two major protein degradation system is forms of life from fungi. So the degradation is very, very important, right? So when you see the plants, you see the fungal eats, the decomposing happens inside the when you see the decomposition is very much important. Protein degradation or degradation is very, very important for the normal ecosystem or for the normal life cycle. So fungal is one example. Like that, and the second system is this protosomal degradation pathway. That's what we are going to concentrate. Okay. So basically, when the rogue things are there, there will be so many cells can create the rogue organelles. So this bulk degradation of cellular compounds happens through this autophagy mechanism. Okay. It is not only single, but bulk degradation. Okay. Happens inside the cell with the help of lysosome. Okay, so through this this basically we will see later about this autophagosome. So when the cell is want to degrade this the rogue organelles, if it want to consume, if it want to destroy, then it will form the autophagosome. Okay, all right. So through autophagy mechanism, which triggers the autophagosome. Okay, this autophagosome, once it is formed, okay, it will degrade the rogue things like proteins, lipid droplets. You see, this is very important. What and all this autophagosome degrades through autophagy is proteins, lipid droplets, or organelles within the lysosome. Okay, so excessive lipids will be, basically degradation will happen, excessive lipid degradation will happen in autophagosome through autophagy. Then this rogue organelles will be engulfed within lysosome, okay, and proteins also, So this is what happens. So if you see, this is very important. Autophagy is responsible for cellular waste clearance, which is very, very important. But why we say about Snehapana? We say, if you see Snehapana, dosha utkleshana happens. That's why we say, Snehapana we give before Shodhana, because we want to bring all the doshas to the stomach. You can see what is happening. Same is happening in autophagy, because lipophagy is lipid droplets goes inside the cell. So this just a gist I'm giving you. So autophagy is responsible for cellular waste clearance and also recycles nutrient substance like amino acids. Amino acids, which is the base for our energy. So when the nutritional starvation or when the nutritional needs occurs, it recycles so that the cells can be rejuvenated. Okay, and lastly, autophagy is very important for cell homeostasis. If this doesn't happen, then the bad organelles will develop and your body will have bad cell growth. Example, psoriasis. Okay, just it's a simple concept, but very fascinating concept. Okay, so basically, initially when they found out, it was thought that it was non-selective bulk degradation pathway, but later, now recently they found out and they widely accepted that there are two types of autophagy. That is, one is non-selective and selective. So there are two pathways, two types of autophagy happens. One is selective and non-selective degradation of the organelle or the rogue cells happens. Okay, so now we will see a little bit about when the selective happens, when non-selective happens, because it does make a sense. So basically, in response to starvation or nutrient deprivation, you see this sentence is very, very important, because this is what happening when you give Snehapanam. Basically, you are asking the patient to take so much of fat and the carbs are very less. Okay, so basically body is entering into the mild starvation mode, or the patient is deprived of nutrients. Why? Because you give only kanji, or only when the fourth day, fifth day, patient will eat only one time. So the nutrients, because if you take the blood sugar, blood levels and see all the parameters like, the vitamins, minerals, everything will be down and dehydration symptoms will be there. Definitely when you give the Snehapana, you can understand dehydration symptoms will be there. That is nothing but the nutrient deprivation. So in response to starvation or nutrient deprivation, non-selective autophagy is activated to provide cells with essential amino acid and nutrients for their survival, which is called physiological autophagy, which is very, very important. That's why Snehapana is given only for 7 days. Very clever people, our people are. Why it should be given only 7 days? This is the reason. I'll try to explain later also. It will make more sense to you. Because the person has to survival, the physiological autophagy must be induced during the starvation and nutrient deprivation. That's why it is called as non-selective autophagy. Okay. In contrast, what do you mean by the selective autophagy is, in contrast, the selective autophagy occurs specifically to remove the damaged, to damaged or excessive organelles, pathogens or protein aggregates even under nutrient rich condition, which is called pathological autophagy. So mostly in Snehapana, the physiological autophagy or non-selective autophagy happens, whereas in these conditions, in contrast, in selective autophagy, to remove the bad fellows, to remove the organelles, the pathogens, the selective autophagy happens. Okay. So next, there are 3 different mechanisms through which autophagy happens. So these are the main, through these 3 mechanisms, this autophagy happens. One is this saffron mediated. Second one is microautophagy. Third one is macroautophagy. So among all these 3, macroautophagy is very important. We will see why, and it is related to Snehapana. That's why I am concentrating more on macroautophagy. So once again, we have seen 3 types before, but in that, if you see this saffron, micro, macro, and macro is important. Okay, and once again, this macro is subdivided into what they degrade. Okay, different types of macrophagy are named according to what they actually degrade. For example, mitophagy. So bulk degradation of mitochondria happens through mitophagy. Next comes the reticulophagy. Bulk degradation of endoplasmic reticulum in the lysosome happens. So endoplasmic reticulum is taken care of and it is rogue. It was rogue, so it is kicked out. So that is called reticulophagy. Then next comes the nucleophagy. So degradation of nucleus in the lysosome. So nucleus itself is degraded because that nucleus is rogue. It has to be kicked out. So nucleophagy takes place. Okay, so this and all comes under autophagy only, but these are different terms. So nucleophagy is sets in, and this bad nucleus is taken care of. Okay, so all these 3 are related to organelle, that is cell organelle degradation. Okay, then fourth one is lipophagy, which is very important for us because since we are dealing with Snehapana, degradation of lipid droplets, which is very much important because every day we do eat lipids, so that should be degraded. So through lipophagy mechanism, the lipid droplets are degraded. Then next comes the xerophagy, so degradation of foreign microorganisms such as bacteria, which is called xerophagy. So other than these, there are various autophagies are available, autophagy mechanisms are there. However, these 5 are very important. Okay, so there are so many things, but these 5 are very important. Okay, so that's why we are concentrating on that. Okay, so basically next comes the formation of autophagosome. As I said, autophagy triggers this autophagosome. So without this autophagosome, the degradation of proteins or lipids or organelles cannot happen. So it is just like, imagine a lizard waiting for its prey, maybe like any kind of, small mosquito or something, it waits, then just, with his or her tongue, it just engulf it. Same mechanism. Okay, the cell is waiting, it forms the autophagosome. Once the autophagosome is formed, it will engulf that rogue fellow. Okay, for this, so many enzymes are necessary. It will not happen just like that. I put it in a simplistic way. But to happen this, it should be programmed. It happens in the gene level. Okay, the enzymes must be secreted, then autophagosome must be formed, then engulfing of this organelle happens. It doesn't happen just like that. Okay, so basically, these autophagosomes are formed from the endoplasmic reticulate, this endoplasmic reticulum wall. Okay, you know the endoplasmic reticulum which is there in the cell. Okay, it forms there. Okay, so what is autophagosome? Autophagosome is a double membrane structure which engulfs the protein needed to be degraded. So it's just imagine like a what is it, this anda, or this what is it, the egg. So double membrane structure, and the egg it will engulf. Okay, so it is formed from the endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, this endoplasmic reticulum will be stimulated by certain enzymes. We will see next, LC3, LC1, like that it is there. So then this autophagosome is formed. Okay, so basically this autophagosome, once it is formed, it can engulf anything. Okay, it can engulf anything, but it should not engulf everything. It should engulf only that bad fellow. So for that, see how beautiful our body is. So for the selective degradation of the malfunctioning proteins, we need to separate them from the cytoplasmic proteins. It can be achieved through only autophagosome. Why this autophagosome is formed? Because only that bad fellow should be taken care of, not the good fellow. So in order to separate the good protein from the bad protein, this autophagosome is formed, then that bad protein is engulfed. So this is what happens. You can see, just imagine about the new moon and full moon. Okay, so from the full moon, okay, so it starts, you can see this phagophore, then this is elongated, and so you can see slowly goes inside. This illustration of this formation of autophagosome, just like how our moon is formed, okay, from the new moon to full moon. So basically this is what happens. You can see this LC3, all these are proteins, all these are enzymes, okay, which is necessary to form this autophagosome. And you can see inside the cell, this lysosomal degradation happens. So this is how it happens. So this is double membrane structure. It is formed, slowly engulfs the proteins, and degradation happens inside the cell. Okay. So now next question comes, how does the cell distinguish between the good and bad protein? Because if the cell don't distinguish between the good and bad protein, then we are in trouble. It can kill our own cell. That's what happens in many diseases. So we need to prevent that. So basically it happens very nicely. You can see this proteolytic signals from proteosomes help autophagosomes to identify good and rogue protein. These proteolytic signals are called protein degradation signals. So this PDS, these protein degradation signals are very important. So this body forms through the enzymes. How clever you see. So this sends the signal, then automatically the cell identifies which is the good protein and bad protein. So these signals are found in the surface of the degrading protein. So where you find these signals? The signals are found in the, it is like how, we got the vaccine for COVID. So basically we got that spike. So we found the vaccine, and our antibodies will go and attach with that spike proteins, and they will kill. Same is happening. So these fellows will see, the bad fellows or the bad proteins will send these signals, okay, in the surface of the degrading proteins. So these signals may be simple amino acid modifications like glycosylation. So with that, it will identify good and bad protein. Okay. Then basically, how to induce this autophagy in day-to-day life? Sometimes, as I said, it happens on its own. Every day we do get this autophagy. Every day autophagy mechanism is day-to-day life. It is happening. Okay, without knowing us inside the cell, every day it is happening. Okay, but in sometimes we can induce it in order to achieve more results. Now lots and lots of research is going on about this autophagy to treat the cancers, to treat diabetes, so many diseases. They are doing lots and lots of research on it. You can see this all over the internet. This will be the next big thing actually. Okay, you will, once you read about it, you will find it. Okay, so how to induce this autophagy in day-to-day life? By inducing lipophagy. This is nothing but snehapanam. Okay, so recently a close relationship between autophagic activity and lipid metabolism has been recognized. So basically, when the lipid metabolism properly happens, when the lipids are there inside properly, it does induce the autophagy, which is very important to take care of the bad fellows. Okay, bad proteins. So lipid droplets are sequestered by the autophagosome and eventually broken down by lysosomes through the process termed lipophagy. So when you take the lipids inside, so inside the cell, through the lysosomes, it will be degraded and it will be done through the lipophagy mechanism. So autophagy is triggered through the intake of the fat through the lipophagy mechanism. Okay, and later I will be telling how this autophagy helps or how this lipophagy helps. So basically, when you do snehapanam, you are inducing this lipophagy, which in turn induces the autophagy, which in turn gives you very good things, which in turn kick out lots of bad fellows from your body. That's what we call it as detox. Okay, so basically you can see lipid overload stimulate autophagy. So what is happening in snehapana? 7 days you are giving lipid overload. You are giving so much of fat inside the body. So lipid overload stimulates the autophagy, and already we have seen how autophagy is very important for our day-to-day life. Then second, elevated autophagy plays a crucial role in counteracting lipotoxicity through mitochondrial quality control. So basically, this elevated, once the autophagy is triggered, it will take care of the lipotoxicity also. This word is very important. If the snehapana is giving, if it is given more than a week, you can see the next line. Long-term lipid overload and subsequent autophagic activation place a burden on the lysosomal system, resulting in phospholipid accumulation and inadequate acidification. How beautiful our people are, you see. So lipid overload can create this trouble. That is the reason why they said Agni and Kosta is important. Snehapana, there is a quotation. Okay, if you don't consider the Agnim Adhikritya Kritva Snehapanam Akaryameva. So if you don't give proper dose without considering the Agni and Kosta, if you give excessive Snehapana, it can even kill Maranameva, it can kill the person. Acharyas clearly told, if you give Snehapana without understanding the Agni or without understanding the Kosta, it can kill the person. Clearly they told. You can see here. Long-term lipid overload and subsequent autophagic activation place a burden on the lysosomal system, resulting in phospholipid accumulation and inadequate acidification. So that is the reason why they said Agni and Kosta is very important to give the proper dose of Snehapana, and Snehapana must be given only for 7 days, because if you give more than that, this is what going to happen. So you can see, once because of excessive lipid, if the lysosomes start dysfunctioning, okay, what happens? In turn, stagnates autophagic flux, which can lead to vulnerability to IR injury during lipid overload as a high-fat diet. Down regulates autophagy by reducing autophagosome lysosome fusion, as well as by decreasing the number and acidity of the liposome. So basically, this is what it is. Minimum is 3 days, maximum is 7 days, and Agni and Kosta is very important. Why? Because if you give less dose, then you are not going to induce autophagy. If you are not going to induce autophagy, the bad proteins or degradation of the organelle or detox is not going to happen. If you give excessive dose, or if you give more than 7 dose, you are going to create lysosomal dysfunction, which can lead to the tissue or cell injury. So that is the reason why, that could be, or that is the reason, I will not say, that could be the reason why they said minimum 3 days, maximum 7 days. Okay. So basically, autophagy is like in the lipophagy, in the lipid or in lipophagy, it is like a double-edged sword. If it is used more, it can create trouble to the person. If it is used less, then it will not work at all. As simple as that. Okay. So this is about lipophagy. Then once again, how you can induce once again autophagy? Intermittent fasting or fasting. Okay. So when that is the reason why in olden days, our people said, in the name of God, do fasting. Monday to this God, Tuesday to this God. Why they said God? Because once you say God, you will fear. In the name of God, you think that, when you do this, you will get some good deeds. So they said they are very clever. So Tuesday, if you do, this God will be pleased. Okay. But the real scientific reason behind fasting is this is what it is. How fasting is fantastic. You would have seen so many researches done on fasting. So when you do this fasting, the autophagy is once again triggered. So what is happening during Snehapana? As I said, body goes into the starvation mode. Very less food is given. It is a kind of only intermittent fasting or fasting mode. So intermittent fasting, you can see if somebody want to lose weight, this intermittent fasting is the fantastic thing. If somebody want to bring down the blood sugar level, intermittent fasting or fasting is the fantastic thing. If girls are suffering with polycystic ovarian syndrome, or if somebody is suffering from insulin resistance, do this intermittent fasting or fasting for a month. Definite, I can tell you 100%, not 200%, you will get the results. Okay. So the time restricted eating or not eating or fasting, okay, is reduces. What happens when you do that? You can see insulin levels and increases glucagon levels. So intermittent fasting decreases the insulin levels. Once your insulin levels are decreased and increases the glucagon levels, which encourages the autophagy. So basically, as I said, the weight loss sets in. This is also one of the reasons why in Snehapana, when you give Snehapana, people lose weight. Okay. So next, basically short-term fasting, helps for the dramatic increase in the autophagy in the brain. So neuronal autophagy is incredibly vital in fighting the degenerative diseases of Parkinson's. So most of the degenerative diseases, this is also one of the reasons why in psychiatric diseases or Shuddhavada Vyadhi, or in neurological diseases, Gratapana is mentioned, because basically this is, Gratapana is mentioned until the ghee is digested, nothing should be given. So it's small, this intermittent fasting is developed. So basically this neuronal autophagy is induced there, and it stops the degeneration of the brain. Okay. How beautiful it is. Okay. Then once again, you can see intermittent fasting increases neuronal autophagy in cortical neurons and Purkinje cells, which are important neurons and nerve cells critical to brain function. So when you give Snehapana, we are trying to reverse this process. So we are inducing these Purkinje cells and other things. So autophagy in the brain occurs through changes in the autophagosome, okay, and by decreasing TOR kinase activity. Okay. All right. Amma, can you remove this small window, because I'm not able to go to the next slide, ma. There is a small window which is disturbing me, like mute, stop video. Ramya? Sorry.
Yes, sir. I'm looking into, sir. Actually, there is nothing like that in my screen, sir.
Okay. I'm
Just
sorry.
a minute, sir.
Wait. Huh?
Yes, sir. No issue, sir. Just a minute, sir. I'll sort it out, sir.
Skip that. Yeah. So next one is, we'll see about ketogenic diet. Okay. So this is also happens during Snehapana. So this ketogenic diet also induces the autophagy. Okay, so this ketogenic diet is a high fat, low carb diet. Okay, this is what we are doing during Snehapana. The fat is high, whereas the carbs are very less. Okay, that may be also be able to induce autophagy. And once again, ketosis requires an intense reduction in calorie intake, which reduces insulin levels and therefore increases glucagon levels, leading to an increased autophagy. So this is what happening during Snehapana. So our body is entering into the ketone mode. You know, that's the reason why during Snehapana or when you do lots of fasting, you will see the, ketone smell in the body, or literally you can see in the IPD level, they will have some kind of smell from through their mouth. The bad breath will be there. That is because of this ketosis. So when you induce this ketosis, for losing weight or for reducing the blood sugar levels, this ketosis is very, very important. Inducing this ketosis is important. That's the reason why when they take so much of insulin, when the blood sugar falls too much down, you see this diabetic ketoacidosis happens. So basically this ketogenic diet helps to induce autophagy. So during Snehapana also these ketone bodies are setting in. Okay, so basically when during Snehapana what happens, the dietary carbs are less. Okay, so basically this low carb dieting, okay, helps to induce the autophagy, and basically more cholesterol also helps to throw lipophagy. It helps to induce the autophagy mechanism. Okay, so basically if you see recent systematic reviews of low carb diets on lipids demonstrate a neutral to small increase in LDL, but a favorable triglyceride reduction. So which is very, very important. When you do Snehapana, that's the reason why during Snehapana or immediately after Snehapana, when you take a blood test, you will see increased LDL. People will get panic. Oh my God, after taking a ghee or after taking a fat, my LDL is increased. I'm going to die out of heart attack. No, nothing like that. Make sure that this is a very good thing happening inside that person's body. So you can see favorable triglyceride reduction. These triglycerides are very important in preventing the heart attacks or stroke or emboli. So you can see the reduction of triglycerides happens though there is increased LDL. This parameter is very, very important. You can do Snehapana and see. I can vouch this. If you do proper Snehapana, this will happen. So reduction and increase in HDL cholesterol, which is fantastic, which is very important. Okay, particularly those who are assigned to the very low carb intervention. That's what we are doing during Snehapana. Okay, so once again, a ketogenic diet can reduce the activity of TOR kinase in the hippocampus, an area of the TOR act as an autophagy. Okay, blocker, so that the ketogenic diet may be able to increase autophagy by decreasing TOR kinase levels. How fantastic. Okay, then next comes the exercise. Once again, exercise increases the autophagy mechanism by regulating the insulin levels. That's the reason I would have been studied. In Madhumeha, it is said that if every treatment fails, ask the person to walk for 7 miles. This is what they said. When you do so much of exercise, the insulin is so much regulated. Okay, and this AMPK activation happens. Okay, so AMPK is a protein kinase that increases glucagon level. Once the glucagon level increases, automatically the insulin decreases. Okay, automatically the person blood sugar goes down. So exercise may increase autophagy levels by decreasing insulin levels and thus growing glucagon to induce autophagy, and also by increasing AMPK activation to increase the glucagon levels directly. I told about this AMPK already. Okay, then once again comes to the benefits of autophagy. So while the body can do this cleanup, okay, alone, and indeed autophagy is active in all cells, there are many benefits to encouraging regular autophagy. So why you should do autophagy? Though it is happening, sometimes we must induce this autophagy. Why should we induce? Let us see. Okay, so basically when you induce the autophagy, so autophagy regulates cellular mitochondria, which improves energy production in the body. So when the cellular level, the mitochondria regulation happens, the energy, you feel very fantastic. That's why, once you start the exercise, after a week, if you stop exercise, you won't feel good. So after fasting, once you do fasting, you see next day you feel, enthusiastic. So if you want to have enthusiasm, this autophagy must be developed. Okay. Then next, protects the nervous system and the immune system. So once you induce, if there is a more autophagy, once you induce the autophagy, it protects the immune system as well as the nervous system and protects against the metabolic stress. It protects against the metabolic stress, okay, which is very, very important. Okay. Once again, my screen is struck. This all this mute, stop video, participants, this is the one creating trouble actually. So idan one struck running now side.
Delegate, sorry for the trouble.
Yeah, yes. So next, okay. Once again, the proper autophagy encourages growth of new cells. Very important. Okay. So Sneha Anilamanti, Sneha Sara Ayam Purushaha, and it is Rasayana. You see this. Encourages growth of the new cells, especially those in the brain and heart tissue. Okay, and enhancing cognitive functions and protecting against the heart disease. Okay, then helps improving digestive function by repairing and restoring the gut lining. Okay, next helps to protect our genes by maintaining the integrity and stability of our DNA. This and all not I am saying, the research is being done, it is there all over, you can see that. Then genetic links have emerged between autophagy defects and cancer, providing increasing support for the concept that autophagy is bona fide tumor suppressor pathway. So the proper inducing the proper autophagy can help in tumor suppressing pathway. Okay, so which helps in tumor suppressing pathway. Okay. This time, sorry about, yeah. Okay, so next one is cancer. So the inducing autophagy helps to take care of the cancer, because autophagy can act as a tumor suppressor, and loss of autophagy promotes tumorigenesis. How fantastic it is. So by inducing the autophagy, the autophagy induces the tumor suppressor factor. Once this tumor suppressor factor, is promoted, okay, it suppresses the tumor growth. Okay, so an essential autophagy gene that is called this Belsin-1 was frequently found deleted in many human cancers such as breast, prostate, and ovarian cancer. So this Belsin-1, okay, is not there in those people, those who are there, those who suffer from this breast, prostate, and ovarian cancer. So by doing this, by producing this autophagy, by inducing the autophagy, this Belsin-1 is taken care of. Okay. Then next one is this neurodegenerative diseases. Okay, autophagy is very important in preventing the neurodegenerative diseases. That is the reason why, as I said, in Shuddhavada conditions, this fat is important, or Gritapana is very, very important, because this inducing the autophagy through this lipophagy mechanism or through this Snehapana prevents this neurodegenerative diseases. As discussed above, some familial forms of Parkinson's disease are provoked by mutations in PINK1 or Parkin. So these two genes are very important in creating the Parkinson's disease. Okay, this PINK1 or Parkin, gene. Okay, so some of which can result in defects in mitophagy. In addition, mitophagy may also play a role in other neurodegenerative diseases, including Alzheimer's disease and Huntington's disease. So this inducing autophagy, lipophagy, and mitophagy is very important in treating these neurodegenerative diseases. Okay, next comes the innate immunity. So accumulating evidence now supports the idea that autophagy is closely associated with innate immunity. Autophagy plays an important role in defending against the invading intracellular microbes, including Mycobacterium tuberculosis, the Salmonella, and Shigella, and HIV-1, etc. So by inducing autophagy, you are improving the innate immunity also. Once again, if you see this tissue injury, okay, so basically when you induce the autophagy mechanism, the tissue repair is being taken care of. Okay, that's the reason why, you would have known, like when you see this, application of Jatyadi Gridam or Jatyadi Thailam, or most of the, ointments are based on fats. Why? Because this tissue repair can be taken care of internal fat as well as external fat only. Okay, so this apoptic stimuli can be taken care of by giving proper snehana inside. So this, by giving the snehana inside, once again indirectly you are inducing the lipophagy and autophagy. So this tissue injury is taken care of. Okay, so basically, once again, how best it is for liver. So when you want to do liver cleanse, they say you do fasting. So that's the reason why you see when there is alcoholic fatty liver or mild liver cirrhosis or fatty liver, they usually say, when the liver is under trouble, when the gallbladder is under trouble, don't give any fat diet. But trust me, you give snehapanam in alcoholic fatty liver or this, hepatitis A, B, or C. You see after a week after virechana, definitely the fatty liver goes down. This SGOT, this SGPT, SG, that liver alkaline phosphate things comes down. If fat is causing that, how it is possible? Maybe we are giving the medicated ghee. That could be also one of the reason. So basically, when you give snehapana, the liver is also taken care of. So induction of autophagy leads to reduced alcohol-induced hepatic steatosis. Although autophagy may selectively remove lipid droplets, that is lipophagy, removal of damaged mitochondria may also contribute to the attenuation of steatosis. So basically, the liver, toxicity also taken care of by autophagy. Okay. Once again, when you select the autophagy, the postponing of the old age also happens through autophagy. That is the reason why when you give snehapana, they said it can postpone the old age. Why? Because indirectly it induces ketosis, indirectly it induces lipophagy, indirectly it induces autophagy. Once it is done, okay, basically the cell death is prevented. It retains the youthfulness. Okay. Next is, we'll see lipophagy as a subject of autophagy, which is very important. Why I said this, what is happening during snehapana. Okay. So these lipid droplets are cytosolic organelles that have a specific cellular function. So these particular lipid droplets are very important for our specific cellular function. Okay. The autophagy pathway is turned on through the process of lipophagy. So these lipid droplets enter into the cell and that cell turns this autophagic pathway. Okay. So these lipid droplets are eukaryotic organelles responsible for the storage of lipids in the forms of triglycerols, cholesterol esters, and retained esters surrounded by phospholipid. Okay. Monolayer. So this is little bit biochemistry level. So when the lipid droplets are gone inside the cell, they are turned into triglycerides or this cholesterol esters and this retained esters, okay, which is very important to form the autophagous mechanism. Okay, so the surface of the droplets is also coated with proteins such as the perilipins. These are family of 5 proteins that contribute to lipid droplets packing and regulate interaction with other organelles. So when you give the lipids more, so these proteins pack them so that it can interact with other organelles of the cell. So when you give snehapana, this interaction is very, very important. So when we give proper snehapana, these lipid droplets are properly formed and they start to talking with other organelles. How fantastic. Okay. So if you see this lipid droplets allow for the storage of lipids that can be utilized for energy production as well as the synthesis of membrane components. You know, the cell membrane is made out of lipids, which is very, very important. Without fat, the cell membranes cannot be properly formed. That's the reason why usage of statins, we are not sure about it, how far they are helping in preventing the heart attacks, because they are preventing all these lipid droplets entering into the cell and formation of, you know, these membrane components, so which leads to improper formation of the cells. So that's a very questionable thing. Okay, so such lipid storage protects the cell from exposure to excessive amount of free fatty acids. So when you give the statins, this we are reversing. So how the cell can protect, you know, from the cell, if the cell membrane is not formed, if the lipids are not available, then how this can prevent the cell from this free fatty acids and steroids. So the proper fat is very much important for our body. By statins, the important, you know, aspect is taken out. So basically the body is deprived of fats. So that could be also one of the reason why all these Alzheimer's, you know, you can see, because recent studies has been showing that Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, okay, all those things are happening because of usage of the statin drugs. So it's once again a debatable topic. Okay, so the lipids can be accessed when need through the process of lipolysis, which involves the breakdown of TAGs and esters by. So once again, when it is necessary, these particular lipids are utilized. Okay, so when it is necessary, this should be utilized. So for that, proper fat is necessary for our body. Okay, once again, if you see, this lipophagy impacts the cellular energetic balance directly through lipid breakdown and indirectly by regulating food intake. Defective lipophagy has been already linked to important metabolic disorders such as fatty liver, obesity, atherosclerosis, and age-dependent diseases in autophagy could underline. So if this lipophagy is not happening properly, if it is not induced properly, you can see what and all the diseases are happening. So basically, when you give Snehapana, we are reversing all these problems. Okay, so this is very important. Dual effects of lipids on autophagy. So as I said already, I explained to you before, if you give more lipids, it becomes, you know, in the cell, the lipid toxicity is induced. That lipid toxicity will suppress the autophagy. Suppressing autophagy can lead to so many diseases or so many problems. That is the reason why they said don't give too much of Snehapana without assessing Agni and Koshta, because you are going to give trouble to the patient. And if you give insufficient dose of lipid, it is not going to create any lipophagia, which is not going to induce this autophagy. That is the reason why proper examining the Koshtam and Agni is necessary in order to induce the proper lipophagy. If you give excess, then it is going to create a side effect to the patient. How awesome it is. So dual effect of lipids on autophagy is this, what it is. It cannot be given more, it cannot be given less. Okay, so in this I gave some examples that, you know, the time is up, so little bit I will go very fast. Okay, it's a very big topic. Okay, so once again, you can see what is the importance of Snehapana, postponing the old age. Okay, you can see the significance of lipophagy and aging. This is what is Snehapana is doing. So experiments have shown that HL, these are the genes, okay, or the enzymes, or TFEB mediated autophagy is a critical component of long-lived phenotypes, and that the induction of lysosomal lipase can have a positive effect on organisms' lifespan. This LIPL4 in particular is a lipase that is necessary for longevity in germline-less worms and whose overexpression extends lifespan and autophagy dependence fashion. So they are doing lots of work on this particular topic. So basically, when the lipophagy is induced, definitely it is postponing the old age. That is the reason why they mentioned about Ruducharya, Rudu cleaning. Why they said about Ruducharya, Rudu Shodhana. You see, when you do the Shodhana, if you see the phalam of Shodhana, anti-aging comes there. This is why it is. Okay. Then once again, in alcoholic fatty liver disease, okay, when you I already explained, by inducing the lipophagy mechanism, okay, basically it removes, you know, the bad mitochondria and bad organelles. It restores the functions of liver cells. Okay. Next one is, once again, in non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. In many people in nowadays, it's very common in obese people. So if you see liver function test, or if you take the USG abdomen in obese people, you see this non-alcoholic, liver disease. And in obese people and this non-alcoholic liver disease people, you see this insulin resistance also. So when you give this Snehapana, when you induce this lipophagy, it reverses this non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Okay. You can see once again, induction of autophagy by FGF21 supplementation was successful in treating non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. So this is what we are doing through Snehapana. Okay. Once again, liver fibrosis. Okay. In liver fibrosis also, when you use this Snehapana, when you use this lipophagy, you know, it is reversing the liver fibrosis. It is already experimented and it is already proven. Okay. Once again, lipophagy and cancer. So this and all I'm telling you how important the Snehapana is, how this Snehapana is inducing lipophagy and autophagy. Through inducing this lipophagy and autophagy, how many diseases we are treating, just see. Okay, so tumor grow in a unique microenvironment with an insufficient supply of oxygen and nutrients. Survival in such an environment requires metabolic reprogramming. A significant part of this reprogramming involves changes in lipid metabolism, with aggressive tumor exhibiting increased acquisition, production and storage of lipids and lipoproteins. So autophagy has been shown to have both pro and anti-cancer roles. So when you induce the autophagy through lipophagy, you can see, you know, it is fantastically, you know, inhibiting, okay, this oncogenic by inhibiting inflammatory markers. Okay, so this is inducing this autophagy through lipophagy, very important for taking care of the cancer. Okay, so more number of metabolic diseases, okay, more number of this liver related diseases, old age related diseases, psychological diseases, or this Shuddha Vata Vyadhis, inducing this this lipophagy is very, very important. Okay, so in the cancer. So once again, lipophagy in the obesity, as I said, it takes care of the insulin resistance. Okay, and it the autophagy or lipophagy restores the insulin levels back to normal. So basically the person loses weight, it reverses the obesity. That's the reason why when you give Snehapana, the person is losing weight. This is the mechanism. Okay, so this I put the note. An ideal quantity of lipids stimulate autophagy, and autophagy this counteracts the lipotoxicity through mitochondrial quality control. More than the required quantity of lipid can reverse the autophagy mechanism and will induce lipotoxicity to cells. So this is the reason why I always say 3 days and 7 days is being told. Once again, if you induce lipotoxicity, lipid toxicity, what will happen? That's what they said, after 7 days, it can even kill the person. Or if it is too much lipid, it can create side effects. Okay, Udirna Piktam, Panduta, these that they said, this is the reason. So lipid toxicity is highly dangerous and eventually it kills the cell itself. Okay, the conflicting results may be attributed to the difference in cell types observation period. You can see why some cells are killed, why not all the cells are killed. That is because of this observation period and different cell types. Okay, so how much that particular cell can take that lipid. So too much of lipid can kill that particular cell. Okay, so that is the reason why we should be careful while giving Snehapana. Okay, so high fat more than the required quantity can down regulate autophagy by reducing autophagosome lysosome fusion, whereas a low fat administration less than the requirement of the person may not trigger autophagy. This could be the reason why this 3 days fixed the dose of Snehapana is fixed after studying the requirement of the person by understanding the Agni and Koshta. Okay, And next, the diet after and before Snehapana contains low carbs and high proteins, and Snehapana is pure fat administration. This mechanism triggers autophagy, lipophagy, which acts against the disease formation. Okay. So next, this mechanism also stimulates the immune system, and a properly working immune system is always important for disease prevention. This is the reason why Shodhana is advised on different seasons as a preventive measure. Okay. Next, high quantity of fat also stimulate Purkinje cells through lipophagy, which are important for normal brain function. Okay, so for the normal brain function also, you need this autophagy, you need this Snehapana. So administration of Snehapana may reduce the insulin levels, and the reduced insulin increases the secretion of glucagon. Increased glucagon levels triggers autophagy. This reduction in insulin and increased glucagon is always beneficial in counteracting obesity, diabetes mellitus, polycystic ovarian syndrome, and high serum triglyceride levels. You see how beautiful it is. Okay. Then this restitution of autophagy through overexpression of ATG7 also can restore insulin levels to normal and improve glucose tolerance. Next, studies show that high fat intake always reduces triglyceride level, and only small increase in LDL or no increase at all. So you can clearly tell to the patient, nothing will happen to you. There won't be any, because this is the common question they ask. This you can give it as a proof. So this has been proved from various studies of different Ayurveda universities. So very mild increase, reduction in triglyceride, or no increase of LDL at all. Okay. So a rise in cholesterol during keto or low carb eating may be related to losing weight. Okay. So once again, it's been known for decades that major weight loss can lead to a temporary rise in LDL cholesterol. The process of making ketones requires compound called acetyl CoA, which is a precursor to cholesterol. Sometimes you would have been knowing after Snehapana why this LDL is increasing. You take a blood test and you see many people wonder why it is happening. This is the reason. Okay, this is because of this acetyl CoA, which is a precursor to cholesterol. Okay, so this is not induced, so that's why the increased LDL is happening. Okay, so having more acetyl CoA in a circulation could theoretically increase cholesterol synthesis. Most cholesterol blood test measures, you can see once again how we are tricked. This is very important point. Most cholesterol blood tests measures LDL-C. They don't measure the full LDL. The most cholesterol blood test measure LDL-C, the total amount of cholesterol carried in our LDL particles. So they only measure the total amount of cholesterol carried by this LDL particles. Only they measures that only. However, LDLP, or the total number of LDL particles in our blood, is an even better marker of cardiovascular disease. So the total LDL is not a marker for cardiovascular disease. This is very important. The total number of LDL particles in our blood is an even better marker of cardiovascular disease. So whenever they do the blood test, LDL test, they should do this LDLP test, not the other one. Okay. So some studies on low carb diets have shown an increase in LDL-C without a change in LDL-P. You can see. So how we are tricked. Okay. So LDL consists of several subclasses of particles with different sizes and densities, including large, okay, this buoyant and intermediate and small dense LDLs. Okay. So definitely this LDL-C must be checked, which is the marker for cardiovascular disease, not the other one. Okay. So it's been well documented that SDLDL has a greater atherogenic potential than that of LDL subfraction, and that is SLDL cholesterol proportion is better marker for predicting the cardiovascular disease than that of total LDL-C. You can see. So whenever we should go, whenever we do the blood test, I prefer to do this. Okay. So studies show that carbohydrate restriction, which happens during Snehapana, can change small LDL particles into larger ones. This is I am proposing. Can change or may change small LDL particles into larger ones. So during Snehapana, the LDL-C may go up, but surely LDL-P would go down, and which is very best for overall health. Okay, next. The high fat intake may decrease TOR kinase, which is found in hippocampus of the brain. The increased TOR kinase always blocks the autophagy formation in chronic disease. So increased this TOR kinase always blocks the autophagy formation, which is bad for our health. So Snehapana could reduce this or may reduce this TOR kinase formation in the brain. By that, the autophagy is induced, and in turn, autophagy helps to fight the chronicity of the disease. Okay. Next, Snehapana could help in the formation of Belsin-1 protein, which is found not active in people who are prone to cancer. Activation of Belsin-1 protein by Snehapana could possibly prevent cancer formation in those people who don't have that protein. Okay. Cell death, next one. Cell death occurs prematurely in old age because of dysfunctional mitochondria. Snehapana might induce autophagy, which in turn help in the removal of dysfunctional mitochondria that would generate mutational DNA during old age. Postponement of old age and preserving the youth is one of the main functions of Snehapana. Next. Parkinson's disease is provoked by mutations in PINK1 or Parkin gene, some of which can result in defects in mitophagy. Snehapana induced autophagy could help in the formation of proper mitochondria, which in turn leads in reduction in Parkinson's symptoms. So Parkinson's, this proper formation of mitochondria in brain cells is very important for the production of dopamine, which is impaired in Parkinson diseases. That is the reason why when you use Snehapana in Parkinson, literally you can see the tremors decreases, the walking pattern improves. You can literally do and see. Okay. Next, chronic inflammation and oxidative stress are considered two key factors in the development of Alzheimer's disease. Underlying neurotoxic mechanism leading to neuronal death occurring in the brain are areas responsible for memory and cognitive process. A bulk of studies have shown that the blood-brain barrier is impaired in Alzheimer's disease, resulting in an altered expression of some transporters, including the down regulation of glucose transporters. So this BBB is not allowing many things, especially those who suffer from this Alzheimer's. So basically we are changing it. Okay. When there is a decreased expression of these transporters, as it has been shown in this Alzheimer's disease, ketone bodies become the alternative energy sources to glucose for the brain due to their ability to cross blood-brain barrier. So basically you need to induce ketogenesis. You need to have ketone bodies, so that because ketone bodies can easily cross the blood-brain barrier, whereas so many things cannot cross the blood-brain barrier. Okay. So high fat intake during Snehapana could decrease the activation of this microglia, and it produces, these are all genes, okay, are the proteins 1L, 1 beta, 1L6, TNF alpha, sparing at the same time this tyrosine hydrolase positive neurons in substantia nigra. Moreover, the deficit of motor function induced by the MPP could be significantly recovered by the high fat intake. This is the reason why in many of the psychiatric diseases where this brain functions are impaired, or in the motor neuron, MNDs, motor neuron diseases, Snehapana or the fat intake is always. That's why Shastam di Dhridi Smriti. Why they said Gritapanam? This is the reason. Okay. Then once again, if you see the beneficial effects of high fat intake for enhancing cellular metabolism and mitochondrial function, inducing a shift in energy metabolism, which is highly beneficial in various neurological diseases. Okay. So if you carefully observe the benefits of Snehapana, it is very good for chronic diseases and those having issues with immune system. From the above explanation, it is very clear that autophagy is an important process that helps in a number of diseases and helps in preserving the youth. Today, lifestyle diseases are on the rise and the scientific community is still searching for the best possible cure. However, the age-old science Ayurveda has a perfect answer for those diseases in the name of Dinacharya, Rutucharya and Sadvritam. Okay, so following these three regimes helps a person to live long and also prevent numerous diseases. Okay, fats like ghee plays a very important role in a preventive medicine. The Snehapana induced xenophagy, mitophagy, lipophagy, and reticulophagy, which in turn leads to prevention of various diseases and postpone of old age. Okay, then Snehapana removes bad proteins, dead cells, and bad organisms through lipophagy mechanism, thus preventing premature cell death, and which helps to lead a long life. Okay. So with this, I would like to conclude my presentation. Hope I did justice to the organizers. So I'm still studying. This is a new topic I'm going through. How much I could able to make it simple. I did it. So if you have any questions or if you have any thoughts about it, you can always talk to me. I welcome your suggestion. Thank you one and all.
Thank you, sir. That was really a thought-provoking session for us, sir. We shall now go ahead the question and answer session. Shall we begin, sir?
Yes, please.
Yes, sir. Delegates, you can post your queries in the chat box or raise hand to ask directly to the speaker. So we have a couple of questions in the chat box. Shall I read it, sir? Sir?
Yes.
Shall I read it, sir? We have a couple of questions in the chat box, sir.
Yes, please.
Yes, sir. What's the pramana of sneha or grita that can be consumed by healthy individual regularly? Vicharana sneha.
Ramya, I didn't hear your question, ma. Can you repeat?
Yes, sir. I can repeat, sir. Am I audible, sir?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. What is the pramana of sneha or grita that can be consumed by healthy individual regularly? Vicharana sneha.
Once again, as I said, there is no fixed dose. I always, I'm very clear about it. Okay. Agnima.
Sir, actually, your voice is bit feeble, sir. Hello, sir.
In text, it's already said about how to test the quota, but practically it is very
Sir, actually, your voice is breaking, sir.
And practically it is very but also. So always understand the Costa. Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now it's audible, sir. Actually, the voice was breaking, sir. Now it's audible, sir. Delegate, sorry for the trouble. Our speaker will be here in few minutes. Please wait patient.
Ramya, can you hear me now? Hello?
Yes, sir. Now I can hear you, sir.
So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
yeah, basically, as I said, first we need to do the RCSE matra. Simply I cannot say like give 25 ml, 30 ml, 50 ml like that. That is not correct also. You will not get proper results also. For children, you can, of course, as a Vicharna Sneham every day, you can just use some like 5 ml or something like that. But for people, as a Vicharna Sneha, if you want to use, start with Rishiyasi Matra, understand the Koshta and Agni. Okay, it's very easy to understand. In my book also I have written, there are so many methods you can understand. And accordingly, after understanding the Agni and Koshta, you next day you go for the dose. It can be Vicharna, it can be Sadhya Sneha, it can be anything. But excuse me, without RCSE matra, practically, it is not advisable. Why? Because the Prakriti and Vikriti is different in person. That's the reason why I'm not saying it in the quantity form like 20 ml, 30 ml like that, because which doesn't make sense. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. So next question. What protocol should be followed for intermittent fasting, considering the Prakriti and Agni Bala of the patient, especially in diabetes?
Yeah. So the questionnaire itself given the answer in that. Okay. So basically, what protocol you follow. You need to check the sugar levels. Okay. Basically, in how much the person can in intermittent fasting. It can minimum. It takes like you can start with 8 hours. Then it can be 12 hours. Then it can be 16 hours. So start with the simple one, 8 hours. Then you check the fasting blood sugar and PPBS, and accordingly, you can ask the person. Okay, increase the amount of fasting time. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
And intake of food also, because Agni also he inquired. So sometimes he or she would have taken more carb. That would take more time. Or if he or she would have taken a little bit salad, which is more cold in nature. So it depends on the food also. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Next question. Sir, patient after necrosis of a pancreatic head undergone surgery and now is on diabetic medication. Please suggest the Ayurvedic line of management. Am I clear, sir?
It's not correct to tell me, because my topic is on Snehapana and autophagy. So I gave my number. Definitely, I will help you. Please call me personally. I will explain you how to, thanks for believing in me and asking me this question. Whatever knowledge I have, definitely I will personally will share.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir, another question. Please tell about Bhaktottara Snehapana, dosage and duration, indication.
Okay, see this Bhaktottara Snehapana, it comes into two. It's basically Brahmana Sneha. Okay, so this Avapedana Sneha in Mutra Krichra and BPH and Mutra Gada, this Avapedana Sneha is mentioned. It is also Bhaktottara Snehapana only. Okay, and it's a kind of Brahmana Sneham only. So basically, where you need to have Brahmana, or where you see this Mutra Gada, Mutra Krichra, or this Vrika diseases, you can give this. I have extensively written about this in my book. Okay, how to give, like the procedure because if you see, there are three types we can give. Okay, before eating, then first is ghee, then followed by food, then followed by ghee. Okay, like that, then once again first food followed by ghee, then followed by food, like that. So three variants are there. So I have extensively covered. You can read in that now.
Yes, sir. Sure, sir.
So it's basically it's a Brahmana type. As I said, it can be used in for Brahmana as well as in Mutra Krichra Vikaras. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir, doesn't Agni get impaired in intermittent fasting?
Definitely.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Definitely.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Because impaired is the word, it can be taken as increase or decrease. That's why I said but the question is particularly not increase or impaired. Impaired means it can be decrease or increase. Definitely it can increase in some person. Definitely it can decrease in some people.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. If Snehapana not digesting up to evening, what it indicates?
Basically, up to evening, you see, you can wait until 24 hours also. That's a Uttama Snehapana is time is 24 hours. So definitely, if you give a proper dose, it will definitely digest. If it is not digested, that means you are given too much dose. So what would happen? The person will not digest, he will vomit for sure. Okay, that's a Mithya Yoga of Snehapana. So that indicates that you didn't properly assess the Koshtam and Agni. That's it.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. In Peya Kalpa, taking Snehapana more than 7 days is good? Question mark. It's a question.
Which one?
In Peya Kalpa.
Paya Kalpam.
Yes, sir.
What idea? I am not understanding that question mark.
Okay, sir. It is being asked by Dr. Nirmala. If she is available, she can raise the hand and ask the question directly. Doctor,
She asking about Vicharana Sneham or
not clear, sir. I'm also not clear, sir. Okay, so we will move to next question, sir. Importance of Yamak and Avapedaga Sneha and concept behind this and indication in emergency. Sir, am I audible, sir?
yeah, importance of Yamaka Sneham.
Yes, sir. Yamaka and Avapedana Sneha. Concept behind this and indication in something like roaring she have mentioned, sir. I am not clear about it. And emergency she have written, sir.
It's a very nice question. I must be very frank with this. I never used Yamaka Sneham internally. Externally, I have used, okay, maybe like Misraka Sneham, I have used in Grahini dosha and some diseases that can be considered as a Yamaka. Okay, Misraka Sneham, where you have, more than 2-3, like the Eranda Thailam and other things are there. So using Yamaka Sneham in Avapedana, this one, right?
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry about it. I really don't have any, this one expertise on it. If somebody have, I have to learn from them. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir, which Ritu is best for Panchakarma?
Ritucharya, like
Yes,
for Sharat Rutu, Virechana can be done, Vasant Rutu, Vamana can be done.
Yes,
Okay,
sir, yes, sir.
then Pravrit, you can do Vasti. All right.
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
Except Grishma Rutu, all Rutus you can do Panchakarma, not Shodhana.
Yes, sir.
So once again, that's a thing. Shodhana is different.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Shodhana is different. Panchakarmas are different.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir, how can we prevent hypoglycemia in diabetic patients during intermittent fasting?
Very simple. When it is when you see the symptoms, give them little bit starch or little bit, palm sugar. So
Okay,
the hypoglycemia will be taken care of.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir, in autism, which Sneha or Grita is to be used in CP child? How to program with Sneha in Ayurveda?
Once again, since it affects the child, it should be in the form of Brahmana and Vatahara, okay, and Medya. So you can choose whatever Gritam you want, Brahmanam, Medyam, Vataharam, okay?
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Delegates, if you have any queries, you can post it in the chat box or raise hand to ask the questions directly to the speaker. Delegates, any more queries? So another question, which Sneha is best for Shodhana?
Which Sneha is best for Shodhana? It is disease specific, ma.
Yes, sir.
So it depends on the disease. In many places they give Murchida Gritam. Take the example, if you have Swasam, Tailapana is good. Okay, because Thailam is very good for Swasakasha Rogas. Okay, yes, and for general, suppose you want to do as a prevention, as a Rutucharya, Shuddha Gritam or Murchida Gritam can be taken. If it is skin disease, because many places they say it is once again controversy whether to use the Shuddha Sneha or processed. Okay, Acharyas clearly said, processed or unprocessed can be used. So depends on the condition, depends on the dosha, depends on the disease. You
Yes,
can
sir.
go for it. You can choose. There are plenty. If nothing is available, Shuddha Sneha, you can give, no problem.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Asti
Thank you, sir.
Madhyagatam, you can go for always Vasapanam or Majapanam if it is available, or you can prepare it. Dose is very less, but definitely, Asti Madhyagata this highly helpful.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir, regarding Snehapana in Prameha and Kamala.
Okay. See, especially it is mentioned in Prameha, there will be Kledam, and how the Snehapana should be given. It is clearly mentioned. So first Rukshana Chikitsa should be given, followed by Snehapana. Okay. At the same time, it should not increase the Kleda. So like, Vata, Kapha, Utklesha Rahita, like Gugulu Tiktakam, which is based on Gugulu and Lekana property. Okay. Kritams can be used. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Delegates, any more queries? You can post it in the chat box. Sir, another one question. Sir, if needed in a pregnant woman, can we go for Shodhana? Is it safe?
Only Vasti.
Yes, sir.
You cannot go for anything because it's contraindicated.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Snehapana in Kamala. Okay. So basically, if it is, we have to see, once again, if it is obstructive jaundice, if it is a surgical condition, due to if the stone is obstructing the neck of or a stricture is there, this will not, because that's an emergency and surgical condition. Okay. If not, basically, you can go with the Ghritam, which is mentioned in the Pandu. Definitely you can, as I said, hepatitis B, hepatitis C and all, this jaundice symptoms will be there. It will work, and it's fantastic also. And studies also been done in SDM Hassan and all. I remember when I was doing my internship there, this Gugul Tiktagam Gridam Snehapanam they used to use, and I also use in my practice. It gives very good results.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Now, to deliver the vote of thanks, I would like to invite Dr. Vairamuthu K, State Convener, Jiknasa, Tamil Nadu.
Namaste, one and all. Namaste, sir. Sneha is important for both Sharira and Jivana. We all know, because Shita Snigdham Agneyam is important in maintaining the Swasthya Avastha. When this Shita Snigdha Agneyam is turning into Ruksha Shitam, the Vikara Utpatti happens. Same like that, the knowledge of autophagy with a special reference to Snehapana is also important very much in the present era, because as Sar told, Sneha Sarohi Ayam Purushaha. Mahodayasya Atulya Jnana Dhanaya Asmakam Sarvesham Ayurveda Utsukanam Pakshataha Asmakam Mahavidyalaya Pakshataha Api Hartikam Dhanyavadam Vyaharamaha. Mahodayasya Pustakam Sarva Ayurveda Utsukanam Krate Nischayena Jnana Bodhakam Bhavet iti Uktva Ekameva Shlokam Uktva Asya Sampurna presentation एकश्लोकमध्ये वक्तव्यम् इति मम इच्छा अस्ति. स्नेहमिदं स्नेहमतः स्नेहात् स्नेहमुदच्यते स्नेहस्य स्नेहमादाय स्नेहमेव अवशिष्यते. महोदयस्य वर्गद्वारा अस्माकं ज्ञानप्राप्तिः ऑटोफेजी एवं स्नेहपान द्वयोः कः सम्बन्धः, तस्मिन् विषये आधारीकृत्य द्वयमपि प्राधान्यतम् आवहन्ति इति वयं ज्ञातवन्तः. तन्निमित्तं महोदयस्य कृते अस्माकं हार्दिक धन्यवादं व्याहरामः. शास्त्रं रक्षति रक्षतः, भाषा रक्षति रक्षति. नमस्ते.
With that, we concluded today's first session and like to request the participants not to leave the room as we resume the second session as soon as possible. Delegates, please stand by. The second session would start soon as possible. Delegates, please stand by. The second session would start as soon as possible.
I'm there. Hello.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, shall we start the session?
Yeah, you can start. You have the PPT, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you can start.
Yes, sir. Welcome back, everyone. Now, for second session, it's my great honor to welcome Dr. Shivakumar sir to present on the topic preventive. Just a minute, sir. Preventive principles in Ayurveda. Now, to render the welcome address, I would like to invite Dr. Geetu Mohan, Assistant Professor, Department of Swasthavritha, Ayurveda College, Coimbatore.
Good evening, one and all. On behalf of Ayurveda College Coimbatore and DIKSHA E-Learning, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Okay, good evening, everyone. On behalf of Ayurveda College Coimbatore and DIKSHA E-Learning, it's my privilege to have been asked for welcoming our guest speaker. As you all know, we have our elegant speaker, Dr. Shivakumar sir, to talk on preventive principles in Ayurveda. I extend a warm word of welcome to you, sir, for accepting our invitation and for being with us here today. We are all delighted to listen to your words, sir. Let me proudly welcome all the dignitaries, practitioners, students all around the world who have joined with us today. Hope you all get an immense knowledge and inspired well enough to spread Ayurveda globally in this pandemic situation. Welcome you all once again. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay.
Before handing over the session, I would like to take the privilege of introducing Sir. Dr. Shivakumar has completed BA MS degree from SDM College of Ayurveda and Hospital, Hassan. He completed his post-graduation in the Department of Swasthavrita at SDM College of Ayurveda and Hospital, Hassan in the year 2005. He is a postgraduate examiner in BHU, Himachal University, Kerala University, and Maharashtra University. He has a teaching experience of 15 years in both UG and PG. He is the former member of Board of Studies in Benares Hindu University and Datta Meg Institute of Medical Sciences, Varta. He published various articles in national and international journals. He is the former member of Karnataka Textbook Society, Bengaluru. He was also invited as a resource person in state, national, and international level seminars. Now, I'd like to hand over the session to Sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Will you start sharing the PPT?
Yes, just a minute, sir.
Yeah.
Is it clear, sir?
Yeah, clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Good evening, one and all. Today we are all in a very hurried life, in a rush life, where there is, we are always on the wheels to get things done very fast. It was similar kind of experience for me also today, as I was asked by my good friend Dr. Mauli in the morning as a replacement for today's session. And I was also in a hurry, and somehow with my little experience, I could gather these things and able to present. Today we are all in a hurry towards the curative aspects. We are all in a hurry to have curative aspects rather than the preventive part. But lot importance is given from our from the time immemorial towards preventive principles, but things are seldom given importance. All of you know that from past 1.5 years, lot of importance or lot of things are done and stressed for prevention of one such disease, where Ayurveda principles playing an important role. And today let's see and try to understand the preventive principles in Ayurveda in simple terms that will help us all to prevent not to prevent all the diseases and have a healthy life, that is promotion of health. Next slide, please. So it is well said in Vedas that prageva pratikurvati rogyabhyo sukhakamibi. That is earliest the intervention, the disease can be cured easily or encountered or tackled easily. And the same applies today also. And this earliest intervention can be taken as a preventive aids or preventive principles that are mentioned in Ayurveda. If you are following the things that are mentioned in Ayurveda for prevention of disease and promotion of health, we'll stay away from the disease, we'll stay healthy for longer and a happy life. So we should all be able to practice these things. And all of you know that now for after so many decades, the Ayurveda principles are very legally utilized and promoted and propagated by the Ministry of Ayush, Government of India, and which is utilized by many across India, in
Sir, can you hear us, sir?
Next slide, please.
Yes.
So for prevention, the answer is Swasthavritta. All the good deeds we do in our life is the answer for a healthy and happy life. And the principles mentioned in Ayurveda not just preserve our health, also keep us away from the disease. And the preventive principles mentioned in Ayurveda uh, help us live with a happy life without any ailments or disease. Nowadays, it is not long life, which is very important. People are asking for a life which is very qualitative. A quality life they are asking, and they're ready to do anything to have a quality life. So for all these things, one thing is very important, that is arogya. In our Shastra also, it is told the four goals of life, that is dharma, artha, kama, moksha. To attain all these, arogya is the prime one. So health is very important, and how to preserve our health and how to promote health. Uh, let's see now. Next slide, please. So the very basic pillars of preventive principle lies in Ayurveda, in Ahara, Vihara, Achara, and Vichara. All of you know that for all this, the Ayurveda has given the importance as the three pillars of life, that is Trayopastambha, that is Ahara, Nidra, Brahmacharya. I will slightly modified into Achara and Vichara. So these four um, things are very much essential. Ahara is one which is cause for life as well as disease, and all the activities and all the practices and all the thought process that keeps us either healthy or diseased, because all these things go hand in hand. If there is derailment in any one of these, it is very sure that one will fall sick. So all these four factors should be considered very carefully and followed judiciously to stay healthy. Next slide, please. So the preventive principles in Ahara comes in terms of Dinacharya, Ahara, Vyavaya, Nidra, Ritucharya, Ratricharya, Langana, Rasayana, and Sadvrita. All of you know that importance of all this today. In this hurried life, we don't know when we wake up, when we eat, and when we do our work, and when we sleep. Everything is very much altered or dismantled. So Ayurveda propagates a very systematic way of living in terms of dinacharya and other respective headings. Now let's see one by one to have a healthy life. Next slide, please. So the dinacharya starts with awakening. The dinacharya starts with awakening, that is Brahmi Muhurta, and then Ushapana, that is morning drink, then cleanliness. There are different aspects of them. Then wash, brush, gargle, tongue scraping, then Nasya, uh, then Vyayama, Abhyanga, and Avaga. So all this set of practices, when you practice, will keep you very healthy, hale, and very fresh every day. Not fresh every day, and keep you very fit for life. Let's see one by one. Next slide. So all of you know that. Can we go back to last slide? Next slide, previous slide. So all of you know that we have to wake up in early morning. That is, we have Ayurveda advocates to wake up in Brahmi Muhurta. So all of you, all of us know that we are all heard of Brahmi Muhurta, but most of us not seen what Brahmi Muhurta is. So it the time falls around 4:30 a.m. Before the sunrise according to today's calculations. So people think that Brahmi Muhurta is just to get Brahmagnana. No, I think that is the best time possible to inhale a very healthy air, to inhale a healthy air, which is very pure and with abundant amount of oxygen that our body requires. So it is very essential that one should awake in Brahmi Muhurta. Even researchers have proven that studying in Brahmi Muhurta is the appropriate time to retain the studied material in the brain. And it is also, the studies have also revealed that
Excuse me. Sir, you're not audible. Sir?
Delegates, sorry for the trouble. Sir will be back in a few minutes.
am I audible now?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
You're audible.
Okay. I think there was some hiccups. And then Ushapana, morning drink. Bhav Prakasha advocates to have at least 600 ml of water, which is a neutral water to drink in the morning. It is quite difficult to follow or to drink 600 ml of water. At least one should have an habit of drinking a cup of water as soon as he wakes up. It helps us in cleansing the Achmana. One should wash his face.
Hello, sir. Sir, actually your voice is not audible, sir. Sorry, delegates. Sir, can you hear us?
Yeah, I don't know, some problem.
Yes, sir.
There is connecting.
Yes, sir. Now it's clear, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Now we can hear you, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So yes, now we'll move to the another Dinacharya procedure, that is Nasya. So all of you know that the nasal insufflation, or which the practice of Nasya is very essential for the health of the to maintain the nasal passage and to prevent the diseases of the Urdhva Jatrugata. Or even in these days of Corona, Nasya is given more important, especially the Pratimarsha Nasya, for prevention of diseases and to stay healthy and to maintain the healthy nasal passage and to make it or to resensitize it against smoke, pollen, and other allergic ailments. It is very essential to practice Pratimarsha Nasya. At least twice a daily one should practice, and practice which is a very simple procedure. Practice self, that is instilling of 2 drops of sneha or anutaila in both the nostrils, and it has its own benefits, especially in these days of corona, where the nasal passage is given more of importance, as it is the portal of entry of this dreadful disease. Not for today, not for only corona, most of the upper respiratory tract infection, the portal of entry happens to be the nose. So this Pratimashanasya or oil insufflation helps in prevention of many diseases, and meantime it also maintains the health of the nasal mucosa. So one should practice Nasya. There are various aspects of Nasya. I'm not going in detail, but in this particular part, we require Pratimarsha Nasya as a daily regimen. Next slide. And next, very important thing is Vyayama. So to keep our body intact and our activities, our body should be very active. One should practice or do Vyayama, that is Ayamo Vivida Angana Vyayama. So we should mobilize the different parts of body to get out of the inertia or the rigidity. And all of you know that Vyayama is very important, as it is helpful in releasing few hormones which also boost the immunity, and by doing Vyayama, the excess of fat is burnt, and it gives a shape and tone to the body, tone to the muscle, a compact body. Nowadays, the physical fitness can be anticipated in the form of Vyayama that is mentioned in our Ayurveda. So at least for Ardha Shakti, one should do the Vyayama. All of you know that Ardha Shakti refers to the appearance of sweat in the body and axilla on the forehead. So one should, even Sahasa should not be done. One should not do excess of Vyayama or very less of Vyayama for the sake. But one should have regular exercise to keep his body well toned and compact. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. No, previous one. So Abhyanga is also very necessary. So one should always do the Abhyanga every day. Abhyanga is advocated every day because after doing Vyayama, the body will be tired, and to relax the body and to give complexion to the body, to give compactness to the body, and to elevate the mood, Abhyanga is very essential. So at least in today's fast furious life, getting Abhyanga done every day may be difficult, but at least once in a week or twice a week, getting done Abhyanga is very essential. The Thaila Abhyanga is very good. Even Udvartana can also be done, the other aspect of Abhyanga, that is powder massage, can also be advocated. Overall, to keep our mood elevated and to keep our body fresh and active, one should go for Abhyanga every day or the body massage. Next slide, please. So Avagaha should be taken as snana or bath regimen. So this is one important thing one should follow, everyone and every day. Bathing is very essential. Apart from that, apart from the other benefits that is told regarding snana, that removes dirt and it removes kapha, and it helps us. It helps in maintaining Agni. The taking bath is to stay fresh for self and for others. So one should take bath regularly with the regimen as told, with hot water and cold water, and regularly taking bath is very essential, as it keeps your body very free from dirt and fatigue. Snana is a very good practice to keep our body fresh and to relax the body and to relieve the fatigue. So one should do snana or have the practice of having snana every day. Next slide, please. So other important aspect of staying healthy is ahara. So in this present world, we are very much in confusion what we are eating, whether really we are eating healthy food. So this is very questionable. So Ayurveda advocates the matravat ahara. So matra is very much individual. The matra is very much individual. Today, the matra depends on various things and various occasions. When you go to functions or a very big parties, the matra automatically increases. That should not happen. So one should have the conscious of his own capacity or quantity of food he can take, ingest and assimilate. Otherwise, the food becomes poison, and poison in the sense it acts as poison, and it's of no use even though if you are eating in large quantity. So matravat ahara is very important. And next one is hita. So it should be hita. It should be hita to both. It should be hita of that land and to the body. So there are few aharas that are mentioned. If you eat in certain dominating areas or desha, uh, the food will be hita to body, and we have to identify such hita ahara according to the land and body, and we should all eat that. And then comes mita. Mita ahara. Mita is not you should have less quantity of food. So there is relevance to matra and mita. So matra and mita. Mita means how much you require. The quantity, how much you require, you should told. In our classes, it is told hita book, mita book, and rutu book. So we should always eat according to not less quantity, sufficient quantity, and which is conducive and according to the season. Hitashi sat mitashi sat kalaboji jitendriya. So very good principle of living, which holds even today for a healthy living and to stay away from the disease. So all of you know that the one thing that is responsible for nowadays disease is the type of food we are eating. The type of food we are eating, the quantity of food we are eating, the combinations of food we are eating, and the good combinations, the bad combinations, the place where we are eating, the time where we are choosing to eat. So all these are very much mangled, and they are not in the place. They are not in the place which are resulting in the disease. So Ayurveda advocates all these things to stay healthy and prevent the disease. So ahara, the following of ahara is very, very important. Next slide. So vyavaya, the other pillar of life, ahara, nidra and brahmacharya, the other pillar of life. Vyavaha is very, very important. Yes, one should be sexually having contentment. And brahmacharya is mentioned. So whenever the term brahmacharya comes, people always believe that, people always interpret it as the complete abstinence from the sex. No, I do not say that. I believe that brahmacharya is judicious indulgence in sex. Judicious indulgence in sex. Because our Shastra believes that the act of procreation for continuation of progeny. For a greater extent, it is true, and one need to be sexually gratified and satisfied. So that is the very important aspect of brahmacharya or vyavaya. So the sexual regimen is very, very important. Even the sexual regimen according to season is also advocated, and we have to follow that. We have to follow this vyavaya or sexual regimen, because in these days of communicable disease, the sexually transmitted diseases are very much prevalent. This corona has masked so many diseases now, and one among is sexually transmitted diseases, because people are not indulging in sex judiciously according to their will and pleasure. They are planning it. So following of brahmacharya is very important, which is the judicious indulgence in sex. So brahmacharya is very important, which there are a lot of aspects of retainment of Shukra is mentioned in Ayurveda. So Shukra, the essence of all the dhatus, we have to preserve it. And for a healthy body, we should not indulge in more and more of sexual act. So anything that is done more or less is not good for body. And one such act is sex or vyavaya. Next slide, please. So sleep, so very, very important. So it is very clearly mentioned that one should go to sleep. There are different type of sleep is mentioned, and in Nishacharya, one should go to sleep after having the night meal. So one should have proper sleep. The good sleep is which is naturally induced, which is naturally occurs. So we should not try to indulge, we should not try to initiate the sleep. So as all of you know that these days people are paying more price just to have good sleep, which is very important part of life. So all of you know that there are a lot of benefits are told for sleep, like, and even disadvantage are also said. One who is not having good sleep not having good sleep is a very potent cause for many diseases. So rest, the sleep in the form of rest is a very good preventive principle to boost our immunity against the disease. Rest is very much essential in the form of sleep is essential. And Ayurveda contra indicates the day sleep. Devaswapna is contraindicated with few exception. So one should not practice the day sleep, and also should practice the good sleep, which is naturally induced sleep. Next slide. So in brief, Ritucharya, because it is told Hita book, Mita book, and Rutu book. So Rutu, Anusara, Achara, Vichara, Ahara, Vihara is also very, very important. The ironies in these days of global warming and other so many mishaps, we are not at all getting Rutus in time, and even Rutu Lakshanas. But still, we have to practice identifying the Rutu Lakshanas accordingly. All of you know that there are two seasonal regimen, two solstices, that is Adana Kala and Visarga Kala. One is southern solstice, another is northern solstice, where the movement of the sun has its own influence on the body. So there are 6 Rutus that are mentioned in our classics, and Rutus accordingly, and Rutucharya is also mentioned accordingly. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. So all of you know that in Adana Kala and Visarga Kala, three Rutus of 2 months each, or 2 masa each falls in. That is Shishira Vasanta Grishma in Adana and Varsha Sharat Hemanta in Visarga. So one is Visarga, where the Dehabala is very less, and in Adana Dehabala is very less, whereas in Visarga Dehabala is good. That is healthy season and unhealthy season. So in all these seasons, Ayurveda advocates the purification in the form of different shodhana, that is Panchakarma therapy, that should be followed. Next slide, please. So all of you know that in Vasanta Ritu for Kapha Nirharana, one should go for Vamana. Probably Dr. Chandramouli has explained in his previous presentation. And in Varsha, for Vata Shamana, we have to go for Basti, and for Pitta, in Sharat, we should go for Virechana. That is Vamana, Virechana, Basti. All these things should be practiced accordingly. So Shodhana in Rutu is very important, though it is told that body has its own mechanism to remove the with Utklisht doshas in various forms, but still one has to undergo Rutu Anusara Shodhana to keep body purified, and to keep dosha in equilibrium status, so that we will not fall sick for the different diseases because of the Utklishta doshas or Prakupita doshas. Next slide. So next other principle is Langana. So that is fasting is very important. So nowadays fasting has become very fashionable. No, it is not like that. So whenever you want, however you want, you can't do the fasting. So there is a particular rule for fasting. Ekadashi has been observed for a day of fasting, but now the fasting pattern has changed. In the name of fasting, people are indulging in so many unhealthy practices. They will fast for the 2 meals, and the third meal will be very bigger, which is ending up as a burden to the body. So fasting can be observed both preventive as well as therapeutic. So as I told, Ekadashi, or fasting, or taking 2 meals, or skipping 1 meal once in a week, or keeping fasting once in 15 days, or intermittent fasting, they can also be done as preventive aspects. So therapeutic aspect, Ayurveda indicates Langana in many diseases as therapeutic fasting, and many of the diseases, Langana is also mentioned, as it is told Langanam Paramoshadam. So fasting can be very judiciously observed to stay healthy, that is to prevent the disease, and to as a therapeutic measure in various diseases. So we are here to learn as preventive aspect. So one should fast at least once in a week or once in 15 days in a very judicious manner. There are different ways of fasting, and crash diet should not be followed in fasting. So Alpahara Rupi fasting is very good for a healthy individual, what I feel. Instead, keeping oneself abstain from food and water for a 2 meals for a long 2 meals in the day, and the third having a very bigger meal or fat meal in the night is not a good practice. So Langana is as it is to Langanam Paramoshnam. In the same way, the fasting should be practiced to stay healthy. As fasting is also described in contemporary science as it is an absolute rest for the digestive system, where the toxins are the toxins in the body are digested again, and they're thrown out of the body. So fasting as a preventive principle is very essential. Next slide. So rasayana. So all of you know that in past 1.5 years, one rasayana as playing very important role, and it is in the mouth of everybody. That is amlaki rasayana. So rasayana is nothing but nutritive preparations. Rasa and ayana. Rasa is nothing but the nutrition, and ayana is the proper channelization of this nutrients in the body. So these nutritive preparations are very essential for the body to boost our immunity, not just to boost immunity, to keep our body very healthy. And the other counterpart tells these are antioxidant foods which helps in wear and tear and the degenerative changes in the body. So there are many aspects of benefits of rasayana has been told in our classics. So rasayana are the nutritive preparations which are very essential to stay healthy. Next slide. And yeah, this is very important. The very another preventive principle of prevention of diseases, adharaniya vega. So all of you know that we should not forcefully initiate or suppress the vegas or urges, as it is one of the reason for almost all the diseases, that is flatulence, defecation, micturition, sneeze, hunger, thirst, sleep, cough, breathe, yawn, tear, vomit. All these urges should never be suppressed, and even they should not be initiated forcefully. As it is told, roga sarvepi jayante vego dharana dharane. So you should not be initiated forcefully or suppressed forcefully, as all these have their very ill effects on the body when you suppress it. So one should release these vegas as and when they happen in our body. So we should always take care of this, take care about this adharaniya vegas. Next slide. And then sadvrita, that is right conducts of life. And right conducts of life, sadvrita is very important. That is all the good deeds, sadvrita. So we should always do the good things, or the universal conducts of life that keep one healthy physically, mentally, socially, and spiritually. So sadvrita are the activities which keep one personally and make him so socially healthy and mentally healthy and spiritually healthy. But unfortunately, the practice of sadvrita has become sad vrita. People are very sad in practicing good things. They feel very sad in practicing good things. So we should follow sadvrita. And one more aspect of staying mentally healthy is dharaniya vegas. That is, we should suppress this urges. So present day, all the menace is mainly because of dharaniya vegas, that is arishad vargas. Kama, Krodha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. People are very much fond of money, things, and they're jealous about others, and they're unable to control their what I don't want to say emotions, very bad emotions, and they're very easily practicing all this. So this is what disturbing the community. This is what disturbing the society and making society very unhealthy. So one should suppress these urges or have practices to suppress these urges to stay to keep oneself healthy and to keep the surrounding very healthy. So one should practice Dharaniya Vegas. Next slide, please. So there are golden rules of life to stay healthy. That is Hita Ahara Vihara Samikshakari Vishesh Asakta Data Sama Satyapara Shamavan Aptopasevi Bhavati Arogha. So these golden rules told by our acharyas are very essential that one should follow this. That is, he should indulge in conducive activity, conducive food, and very analyzing mind, indulging in subjects, and he is giving uh, who is doing dana and considering others also equivalent to him, who is in favor of satya, who forgives people, and who saves or nurtures the fellow uh, person. And if one do follow all these things in daily life, he will say arogi. So these are the summary of what till now I have talked about in my presentation. So to stay arogi, one should do one should practice all these things. These are the golden rules, or the preventive principles can be summarized to stay healthy, to prevent disease, and to promote the health. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Sir, can you view it, sir? Hello, sir? Delegate, sorry for the trouble. Sir, can you hear us? Delegate, sorry for the trouble. Sir will be back in few minutes. There have been some technical issues. Delegates, please hold on.
Delegates, please stand by.
Yeah.
Sir, can you hear us, sir?
Yeah. Now I could unmute myself. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No issue, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So one should also practice yoga every day to stay healthy. All of you know practice of Ashtanga yoga is very important. When it comes to yoga, people always think of only asana. No, asana is not yoga, just yoga. Asana is just one physical part of it. Whereas the Ashtanga yoga is advocated for complete physical, mental, social, and spiritual well-being. And these are the days of yoga over Ayurveda. So people are very much leaning towards yoga along with Ayurveda. So it is the greater responsibility of Ayurveda people even to promote yoga along with Ayurveda for healthy life. Yoga is a healthy lifestyle practice, as it is. Yoga is universally accepted now. Yoga is universally accepted, and it is one way of living which keeps you um, uh, in equilibrium state, physically, mentally, socially, and spiritually. So one should also follow yoga or practice yoga along with the Ayurveda principles. Next slide. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It was great listening to you, sir. Now we shall go to question and answer session. Shall we begin, sir?
Hi, yeah. I'll try to answer.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Delegates can post their queries in the chat box or raise hand to ask the questions directly. So can I stop this screen sharing, sir?
Hi, yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. So we have a couple of questions. Shall I read it, sir?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Delegates, you can post your queries in the chat box. Sir, in which text early morning drinking of water is advised? What are the Falashruti explained?
It is mentioned in Bhava Prakasha that in the name of in the heading of Ushapana.
Okay, sir. Yes,
I
sir.
think Falashruti I have explained.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
So, what's the difference between the Sona Masuri raw rice and Sona Masuri steamed rice? Can this be taken for Shali?
Yeah, right. In Nitya Sevani Ahara, though they advise Shali, Shilayat Shali, Shashtikan. So they Shashtikan Shali they have mentioned. Yeah, I have heard of some parts of Kerala they grow Shashtika Shali, but now in wider use the rice which is available should be considered as Shali. Yeah, you can eat Sona Masuri rice. Sona Masuri Shali is recently developed variety rice, and it is quite over polished, and I think it is very tasty on palate, nutritively quite less compared to unpolished. So better to go for unpolished rice over Sona Masuri.
Yes,
The
sir.
question was the same, no? So
Yes, sir.
unpolished
Yes,
and
sir.
polished rice.
Yes, sir.
So we should never go for polished, even a little polished. But the people are very much fancy about eating white rice rather than the red rice, that is unpolished rice, which is fortified with nutrients, fiber, and all. But it is unfortunately people crave for white rice than the red rice. So I recommend unpolished red rice.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Which is a which source of vitamins, which are B complex vitamins.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Mhm.
Delegates, any more queries? You can post it in the chat box or raise hand to ask to the speaker directly. So we will wait for a few more minutes, sir. If any queries.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Delegates, any more questions? Sir, the same person have asked Sona Masuri raw and Sona Masuri steam. What is the difference?
Sona Masuri raw and Sona Masuri
Steam.
steamed.
Yes, sir. I think it's steam. STEAM. Steam.
I
It's
don't
from
think it makes any
difference.
nobody eats the raw rice.
Yes, sir.
By steaming the rice or by cooking the rice, obviously, when it is cooked a closed vessel, the nutrients are not lost. And coming to Ayurveda counterpart, when ahara is sanskara, when Agni Sanskara is done, it becomes lagu for digestion.
Yes, sir.
So that can be taken. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Delegates, queries? Yes.
Because there is no practice of eating raw rice, I feel. Yeah. Steamed rice, are they asking about boiled rice? Which is used in Kerala and all other side?
Might be, sir. I'm also
in coastal areas, what they are using.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Maybe boiled rice. Steamed rice I have not come across, because rice is steamed to eat, and boiled rice, the parched rice or boiled rice is the other preparation.
Yes, sir. Dr. Anuradha has said that the paddy is steamed and dehusked in steamed rice.
That is then boiled rice, no?
Yes,
that is
sir.
other way of
She has said
preparation.
that it's white rice, sir. White rice.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I
It's
think
correct,
with
sir.
I don't know. So far I have not come across anybody doing such procedure with Sona Masuri.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The other variety of rices are boiled, steam boiled and then dehusked, and which is used as boiled rice in coastal areas.
Yes, sir.
Widely, yeah. I don't think anybody doing that with Sona Masuri. There are other variety of rices which are boiled, steam boiled, then dried and dehusked. Yeah, it is very good for health because all the nutrients are retained and they're fortified. Even brawn is retained, which is good for health. And as it is Agni Sanskarana is done, it becomes light for digestion.
Yes, sir.
It becomes lagu. Yeah.
Yes, sir. I think there is no more questions in the chat box.
Okay.
Can we close it, sir?
Yeah, sure.
Yes, sir.
Hmm.
Moving on to Dr. Vidya, can you please take over?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
To deliver the vote of thanks, I would like to invite Dr. Geeta Mohan, Assistant Professor, Department of Swastha Vrita, Ayurveda College, Coimbatore.
Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're
Yes,
audible.
sir, you're audible.
Yeah, I think somebody is mentioning a few things in chat box regarding that steam rice again.
Yes, sir, yes.
Hmm.
Many are keen about that, I hope, sir.
Yeah.
They're just I think they are giving some
Yeah,
idea.
I know there are two varieties of rice. That is, one is raw and steamed rice. But I don't know particularly about Sona Masuri, because in Karnataka and all, Sona Masuri is not steam boiled and used, dehusked and used. The other varieties are steam boiled, then they are used. Probably they're from Tamil Nadu or Andhra Pradesh, maybe.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Is it done?
Yes, sir. We have a vote of thanks for you, sir. Just a minute, sir.
Sir?
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for spending your most precious time for this seminar and discussion. It was really an amazing session, sir.
Thank you very much. And I also thank for the organizers for giving me this opportunity. And I also thank Dr. Mauli, who is a good friend of mine, for giving me this opportunity.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much. Okay.
With that, we come to an end of day 5th of SAMSIDDHI 2021 National Web Conference Series. Our next session will be on 20th by Dr. Kamini Dinan on the topic Ardhava Management and Understanding and Uttaravasti Practical Aspects and its Utility in Different Diseases by Dr. Bharati Kumaramangalam. To know further updates, please stay connected with us in our social media. Once again, thank you, sir. Thank you for all the participants for joining us today and hope to see you all in the upcoming session. Until then, stay home, stay safe. Thank you all. Good night.
Good night. Good night. Thank you.